Well, welcome back to the shop, folks. Right behind me is my 1982 Suzuki FA50 moped. I've owned it for about 30 years and it needs some help. Needs a lot of help, actually, and we're about to give it a lot of good help. It's got 5,000 I think miles on it, a little more than 5,000 miles, and it's not really showing its age well when it comes to just surviving for 30 years. Engine wise, it's pretty good. I mean, there's nothing really wrong with it. It runs, drives, all that good stuff, but it's got some tire rot going. It's just been sitting around and not really doing much other than collecting dust and just kind of degrading. So I need to take it apart. One known problem I have is some turn signal issues, and I've been digging through the wiring, as you can see right here, trying to figure out where and what, and I can't find it. So it's going to be helpful to tear this thing down, but I need to tear it down completely, almost completely to its bare bones, so I can get some new parts put on it. Got a new muffler over here, I got some performance reeds in here that'll help. Can't remember what this package is. There's a part in there. Got a fishing rod. I don't know how this is going to fit into the mix, but it's over here. Throttle cable, adapter for carburetor, foot pegs, brand new carburetor. And here's the part that's gonna help me out on my low end torque. I'm increasing from 50 cc's to 60, so that's gonna help out a little bit. Got a new ignition key to put in it, a new ignition switch per se. Other one's been screwdrivered out. I picked up a used wiring harness. Hopefully that can help solve my turn signal issues and possibly my battery charging issues. It's got a horn that came with it. It's actually better shape than the one I got, so I'll probably use it. Reflectors, all the hardware off of another parted out Suzuki FA50. Got batteries that I'm dealing with. This is an old 20-year-old one. This one's about a year old. And it reminded me of the things I had to deal with back in the 90s, is that if you forget to check your water level in these things, they go bad really quick and then they won't hold a charge anymore. So I found this by accident, and it's almost the same size, literally almost the same size, and I think I'm going to be able to make it work. It's a sealed lead acid battery, 6 volts, which is what I need, 6 volts. So we're going to try to make that fit and see if that will help me out electrically. In this box, I don't have old stock tires. I wouldn't want old stock tires anyway, but these are actual Suzuki tires, and these are the exact tires, type of tire, style of tire that came with this moped from the factory. Got a couple tubes, got some green slime. I love this stuff in tubes. Please don't put that in tires. Please don't. Yes, it will work, but when you do have to make a repair, it's a mess. At least with a tube, it stays inside there and you can just toss the tube and put another one in if it gets broken or punctured badly enough to have to do that. So we're gonna go ahead and get started on this. A lot of this is gonna be kind of a time lapse, and when we get into actual reassembly, I'm going to start doing some really focused work with the camera to get you guys in here and show you exactly what I'm doing. So anyway, that's the project that's going down right now. Going to be probably 4 or 5 videos. I'm not sure exactly yet, and we're going to get this moped back on the road and getting it very useful. It currently does about 65 miles per gallon. Now, increasing my piston, basically my cylinder is probably going to drop to like 45, but doesn't matter. That's still better than a Prius, so I don't care. Plus I get some bottom end torque, get me from dead stop to up to 25-30 miles an hour, a little faster, so that'll be very helpful. So let's get started. Okay, it's time to hot rod this moped. I'm gonna do some upgrades here. Put up a few teaser videos out. I know you guys are waiting, so we're gonna go ahead and get started, and some disassembly required, so we're gonna go ahead and get started on that right now. We're gonna take this cover off here. This covers up the fuel injection, not fuel injection, oil injection pump for the 2-cycle oil. This engine is set up to, I guess it's kind of like a motorcycle, it pretty much is. It mixes the 2-cycle oil with the gas at a 40-to-1 ratio, utilizing this little pump and a little injector nozzle on the other side. Put these screws back in here so I know where they go and I won't lose them. Next thing is we'll take the steps off, or foot pegs, or whatever you want to call them. So take the air cleaner off as well. We won't be needing this air cleaner. The new carburetor comes with its own built-in. Now I'll take the exhaust pipe off. Muffler, exhaust pipe, all the same unit on this thing. Pretty beat up. Won't be needing this anymore. Now we'll take the rear fender off. Really want to get a new one of these, but they're pretty hard to find. I actually might look for a stainless steel one that I can put on here that will fit. 14-inch wheel. Alright, now we'll break these head bolts loose before we split the moped in half. That's the one. This is the pivot that all the suspension works off of here. So we'll get this nut taken off of here in preparation for splitting it in half. I have to split it in half, otherwise I can't get in here to replace the reed valves. Next we'll take this off. that's ready to come out. First, let me get you guys out of the way so I can get this thing split. All right, let's get this little scooter split apart. Hardly any trouble at all. See how stable this setup is. It might be tippy. A little more tippy than I like. Just took the main oil line off. I don't want to. I actually plan to bypass the oil injection system by just putting premix fuel in it. But I don't want to do it at this phase. Right now I just want to get this new piston in here, new carburetor, and a couple other things. Yeah, the throttle cable, and I want to take it out and test it and see if I'm really getting the bottom end torque that I'm looking to get out of the new piston. So that is what it is, but we're gonna get you guys back over here so I can get the carburetor off, disconnect all this stuff, run the new throttle cable, put new reed valves in, and all those little things. All right, let's continue disconnecting everything on this carburetor so we can get it out of here. This is the choke, which I won't need this cable with the new one. I'm going to leave it in there. Well, maybe I won't. Leave it in the frame, that is. I'll probably pull it out. I got to run a new wiring harness through here later on anyway. So, probably just get it out of the way. Probably have fuel spitting out of it. No? Oh, that's probably the reserve. Just in case, we'll plug it anyway. This new carburetor, I only need one of those fuel lines, and I think it's this short one. Throttle cable disconnected here. Get that out of the way. I don't want to have to disconnect that oil line. And here comes the part that's probably going to be easier this time because I just recently took this off. So this is the adapter plate, carburetor down to the crankcase, and sandwiched in there is the reed valves, which is the whole reason why I'm taking this apart. I think I got a stripped out screw in here too that might be problematic to get out. Let's use the wrong screwdriver on a Phillips. Nope, that's not going to work. Two more over on this side and one stuck one over there. They're stripped out, but I did buy a bag of hardware for a parted out moped of this same exact one and I can dig through that bag and locate replacement screws. Good, that one came out even though it's kind of stripped too. Okay, those are all out. This one, if I remember right, is a bit of a bugger. Don't fall over. So might need a vice grip. Try channel locks first. Okay, that did the trick. Get these screws out of here so I don't drop them into the crankcase. There we go. Underneath here, and gas is going everywhere. I know better than to flip a carburetor over. Reed valves are under here, so this whole assembly I'll put on the bench a little bit later, and we'll get the performance reed valves put in there. Where's that metal pan? Down in here, this is where the fuel air mixture goes in, and somewhere down here following this hose is where it injects the 2-cycle oil, which is a system I'm going to continue to use for right now, but I'm really thinking about just bypassing it, deleting the oil tank, and just pre-mixing my fuel. I've read a few forums online that say that actually will help you a lot when it comes to getting a little bit more speed out of the moped. I don't know. I'll maybe try it. We'll see. Alright, let's get this head off of here. Oh yeah, I already loosened these. So these are just nuts on studs. This should come off really easy. That's the stock head. This is also going back on, and the part that's not going back on is this one, and that's coming off surprisingly easily. Just save this gasket. I don't want to mess that up. So there we go. This is the old one. This is the 49/50cc cylinder head, and this is the part we're going to replace with a 60cc and a larger piston. Piston's right here. I should be able to get this out pretty easily. I had it out about a year ago. There we go. It was just stuck in one spot. There we go. Here's the piston. That's the old one. Been there for a long time. We're gonna upgrade. Okay, right here in the middle of this is the original throttle cable, and I gotta pull it out. I've got So string tied to the other end, and we're going to try to work it through the frame here and get it out, and that'll pretty much finish up the disassembly, so we can proceed on with reassembly. This is going to be tricky, I think, because this scooter is balanced rather precariously. It wants to fall over. So if this thing comes through and it's got it pulls the string all the way through, we're set to pull the new one through, and there we go. Got the string through. Okay, so where we're at right now is we're ready to start putting some things back together with new parts. I've run into a couple of things that I was fiddling around with off camera. Has to do with the handlebar part of the throttle cable, and a couple of questions I have with the new reeds right here. They are I don't know, 2-stage or something like that. I don't know if this goes on top of this or this goes on top of this when I put it together, so I'm trying to figure that out, and that'll be in the next video once I get it sorted out. But right now we're set up to where we can start putting things together. This choke cable, I don't know if I'm going to pull it out right now. I probably will, but if I decide not to at this point, I'm just going to tuck it up inside of the frame and it'll be out of the way, because the new carburetor has a manual choke lever on it. You don't need the cable. Alright, so we're going to get things sorted out for the next video, but for now this is the phase 1, if you will, of phase 1. And phase 1 of actually getting this moped going, all I'm simply going to do is put in the new piston, the new head or cylinder head, the new carburetor, the new reed valves, get the new throttle cable put into it, and there might be a couple other things that have to do with the ignition switch or something like that that I might do. But I want to do that now and then go test drive it and see if I'm actually getting the bottom end torque that I'm looking to get, which is right now 0 miles an hour to 10 miles an hour is like, it takes like 35 minutes. So I'd like to decrease that by a lot, and if I can get that to where it's comparable to what I want, and I can also measure what my top speed increase is, if there is any, off of this setup, then I'll know what I need to do on the next step. And there's going to be some stuff I'll be looking at on the inside of the transmission, if that's what you want to call it, with the sprockets and numbers of teeth on the sprockets. So I'll be taking a look at a bunch of stuff like that. But right now, next video, I'm going to get all the stuff that I just previously stated on here and get it ready to go.